So the third overall selection in the first round of the National Football League draft, I believe the New York, let's have them say it. Select Quinnen Williams, defensive lineman from the University of Alabama. 21 years young, 6'3", 300 lean pounds of defensive specialist for the Crimson Tide the last couple of years. I believe he brings his talents to New York City and wears the green and white, sometimes black for the Jets. How about the new logos by Gang Green? Check them out. I like the new duds, but I always appreciated the old ones most. I think I like the 80s Jets unis the best. Anyway, I think Quinnen Williams, as I get right to it, becomes the third overall pick, the first for the Jets in this year's upcoming draft this week from Nashville, Tennessee. So why do I think Williams becomes the Jets pick? Let's get right to it. For one, I think he'll fit like a glove in Gregg Williams' 4-3 scheme. I know the Jets have said they're going to predominantly feature the 3-4, which has been pretty solid for them since the departure of Rex Ryan, and they would ease into some of Williams' schemes. But at 60 years old, Williams is one of those guys, at this stage of the game, the Lion ain't changing his stripes, if you know what I mean. So I think little by little they start incorporating the 4-3, and that becomes a primary defensive scheme for the Jets, who are going to need fast, quick edge rushers, interior rushers, and guys who can flat out blitz and get to the quarterback and beat the offensive lineman before the quarterback can beat the Jets. More importantly, I think there's one quarterback like everyone's been chasing, the AFC East, and in the NFL, that for that matter, for like the last 2 decades, Tom Brady. Now, Adam Gase, the new head coach for the Jets, as of course there's been a regime change for the Jets. They bring in the 40-year-old Gase, who has some head coaching experience in the division in Miami. He got his feet wet, 23-25. I think he's going to do much better in New York, even though he's playing in the Big Apple. He will be under the microscope. I don't think he's one of these media-savvy, friendly guys, kind of Bill Belichickian in that regard. Not always the most comfortable with the media. Does it because it comes with the gig. However, I think he'll be able to focus on a lot of different aspects and things he learned in his first time around in Miami that may have led to some failures. He'll be able to learn from that experience. Hindsight's 2020, put that forth and do some cool things with the Jets. Now, I also think he's the kind of head coach that lets his defensive coordinator coach the defense. He's more of an offensive guy, a quarterback whisperer, so to speak. So I think he's going to throw the keys to Williams and say, hey, the defense is yours. Williams, a controversial figure, but a championship defensive coordinator in his time as well with the 2009 Saints, who had a really fast, aggressive, striking defense that led the league in turnovers, supported Sean Payton and Drew Brees' offense perfectly. That's why they were Super Bowl champions. So he brings a championship ring in his resume to the table. He was indefinitely suspended, wound up being a year for his role in the Bountygate scandal with the Saints. Sean Payton also dismissed for a year as well. They were exiled from the game. Williams resurfaced, of course, most recently as the defensive coordinator turned interim coach in Cleveland for the second half of the season last year, replacing Hugh Jackson, and did admirably. Went 5-3, but he wasn't retained, so he's now a member of the Jets. And he wants fast, versatile, athletic guys to get to that quarterback, and that's exactly what Quinnen Williams is. The Outland Trophy winner in college football last year played 623 snaps, so you know he's durable. 7 sacks, 18 tackles for loss of yardage. He's the real deal. His first year, he was an edge rusher. Last year, moved into the interior, played that nose tackle position. He can play either or, it doesn't matter. A 4.8340, the fourth fastest for any defensive lineman in scouting combine history. So he's agile and cover the pass. Now the Jets, I believe, will have some choices at number 3. That is if they don't trade it away. Mike McCagnahan, their GM, said, hey, they might wheel and deal. Not out of the realm of possibility. If that's the case, let's say the Jets shuffle things up and they trade that third-round pick and they wind up picking later in the first round, they could go offensive lineman. It's a need for Sam Darnold. It's a need for any team and any quarterback, but particularly when you're looking to protect the franchise, the blue chipper with a blue chipper. And I do believe Sam Darnold has the goods. 17 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, started 13 games. There were flashes of brilliance. And it seems like the kid also has the 3 C's, as I always give props to Dick Vitale, the cool, the calm, the collective. He can handle New York. He's a baby, just barely old enough to order a whiskey. So if the Jets deal that pick away, they could very easily go for an offensive lineman later in the first round. Jawan Taylor, a guy out of Florida to watch out for. Another guy, another Williams out of Alabama. This one, an offensive lineman, Jonah Williams. Now, if the Jets want to go edge rusher, maybe a guy who's a true edge rusher, and they flip that pick at 3, guys to watch out for include Jerry Tillery, who's getting some high grades. The name is heating up, of Notre Dame. Now, other guys the Jets could keep in mind, the high-profile guys, so to speak, the 1s to the 1As I just mentioned. They're all great football players. I mean, if you're mentioned in the top 15 in the NFL draft, how good of a football player are you? Just to get drafted, let alone any round, 1 through 7, right? Anyway, Josh Allen could be there for the Jets, as well as Ed Oliver. Allen from Kentucky, an All-American, a great pure pass rusher. Oliver picking up steam, highly regarded as a blue chipper from the University of Houston, a Cougar. Here's what I think happens. I think, as I've stated before in one of my reports here on my YouTube channel, by the way, please do go ahead and subscribe. Thank you so much. I wanted to mention that. Also, 954 Sports, wanted to mention that. And happy high holidays to everyone out there. So I got my 3 plugs in the old hat trick. But Josh Allen could be there for the Jets, as well as Oliver, because I think Kyler Murray, I did a mock draft pick for the Arizona Cardinals in round 1. I think Kyler Murray goes to Arizona flat out at number 1. Second with the Niners, I think they stand firm. I think that Nick Bosa, Joey Bosa's brother, I think he's going to be the pick for the Niners. I just think they're in love with this kid. They're infatuated with him at number 2. So the Jets are going to have all kinds of possibilities if, again, they don't flip the pick and trade it at number 3. But I think Williams fits best because of the versatility, the quickness. He seems like a great kid. Really does. I've heard plenty of interviews, read plenty about him, did my research. Seems like one of these true crimson, right? One of these true, just all-American kids with just a great attitude, a team player, has the smarts, says the right things, and I think he'd fit in New York very well. So that's what I think. I think that's where Gang Green selects. Again, Quinnen Williams becomes a New York Jet